share that one.
Trailer court, I thought that was for tiny homes.
You know what, I don't know what they're doing at that trailer court on Stone Church Road, cause I saw trailers advertised for sale for $90,000.
A trailer?
Well,
Yeah.
at one time, you only need, what, 20 foot wide?
Yeah.
And you could put a trailer on it. Well, a tiny home has got this about the same width and requirements. You can't even park a car or hardly.
You could buy a
park
tiny home from Walmart and Amazon.
You know,
Yeah,
so-
the only question I had on these tiny homes is I just wanna make sure nobody can put the tiny home in their backyard.
Right.
Well, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
a grandma home, granny flat.
You're not allowed, but
I didn't see. I don't
People
know
live
if I
in-
saw-
in
I was looking
Quonset
for where
huts
it
around
said
here.
You can't put it on an existing,
I didn't see it either.
like, a lot with an existing house. It didn't say anything about where they can be located.
Well, bottom line is you're not supposed to put multiple dwellings on a
Right.
single lot.
That's already in the ordinances.
You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Period.
It
She knows,
happens.
she knows.
Okay,
It
so
happens.
they can't put this tiny house on,
No,
in their backyard.
Correct,
No.
and we wouldn't, they can get a zoning permit for a tiny home, but under building code, they could do it as a recreational cabin, which means they don't live in there permanently.
Uh-huh.
For someone to live in a tiny home permanently, it still needs to meet the 2018 International Building Code.
Okay.
and they don't. The
And
prefab
this
ones
does not-
don't.
So they'd have to, okay.
Right,
Oh, so this
She's on it.
doesn't
this
mean,
doesn't meet the code, but, and I don't know how, where I live, we have a slew of them. Recreational cabins where people live in Pittsburgh but wanna come up to
Mhm.
Chalkhill or Farmington.
yeah.
They do a recreational cabin affidavit, still needs sewage, that doesn't, sewage,
So they would
driveway,
have to get a second tap.
but they go to Lowe's, well, we don't have public sewage up there, so it's on lot, but they'll go to Lowe's and get literally a huge shed.
Mhm.
They'll convert it, put a bathroom in there and everything, but they're only up there on the weekends. But it's a Lowe's shed, you could certainly use this for, if someone says, hey, I wanna do a recreational cabin, cause I live in Pittsburgh, but wanna come to Finleyville or whatever.
Yeah.
To have some type of guideline, rather than a shed from Lowe's, but for someone to live in this permanently, they'll never get permits from us,
Okay.
cause it needs to meet the building.
Are you staying here? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, okay. I'm good with that, answers my question, because I was like, I don't want to, but the neighbor decides that their kids can't afford a house because housing's so expensive,
Oh, yeah.
or, or you just want these popping up.
Even Mineral Beach, the hell with single family houses on them postage stamp lots. You might as well stick 4 or 5 of them together, get the same density, you'll get the same price out of them, but you still have distance between the units.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the fire code, why are you allowed to put basically a frame dwelling that close to another frame dwelling?
I believe it's a 10-foot
Minimum.
separation.
Okay, and they're asking for, 5 and
7 and a
5.
half.
7.5.
7 and a half.
So, that's a total of 14 or 15.
The one thing, though, some of the lots were more than 15.
He did say that.
And what I did like is they had a lot of open space.
Then take that open space and
Yeah.
give them a yard.
Yeah.
Right, spread the houses out.
That's because they don't have a backyard to play in, they have to play in
The
this
thing
open
is,
space.
I don't think, these aren't gonna be marketed towards families.
Mm-mm.
And I have a problem with that, we need families around
Well,
here.
then the other
Yeah.
factor, there's a lack of housing here. A lot of the residents, and I'm one of them, I'm not gonna live forever. And there's a lot of houses out there, there's gonna be a turnover. It's been that way on my street. So
Slowly.
there's ample space for somebody to move in after my demise. You don't need to build any more.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a replacement for me out there
More,
somewhere.
But again, most of the older houses are not any different than what they're building.
No,
All the old plans are ranch houses.
Yeah.
Not my
Property,
not my
your
plan.
ranch house.
Not my plan.
But Alright, back to.
They weren't
back to
ranches.
tiny homes since it is
Okay.
9
Your
o'clock.
mother is.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I was thinking ranch. To me, ranch is no basement. I get it. I was wrong.
Before you do that, do we need to put in here a minimum of windows?
Huh?
Just ask. You know?
Oh, you're thinking of that place in One City.
Yep.
I knew it as soon as you
Yep.
said that.
Yep.
That's crazy.
What do you
There
think? TJ?
needs to be.
I thought there was something.
There's the
There needs-
skylight.
Skylight.
That's what it
Yeah,
is.
but that's not.
It's not a window.
Well, like, but like Tammy said,
Say
these
that.
would never, they'd have to conform
You know what,
to
it's
the
almost
building
like-
code
But if
and
you
to
read
live in
that,
permanent-
you read that,
Yeah.
they're basically
So-
using the skylight as the window. You don't have to have a window,
Oh,
because the skylight would be to satisfy the emergency escape.
and rescue.
Well, how are you gonna get to the skylight unit, hang a ladder?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A pull down ladder.
Does the skylight open? Are you breaking the glass?
What, even in the building code, a
So
bedroom
egress
has to have a
access
certain
window.
size window for to escape from.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
Tammy, did you say that nobody would get a permit to build one of these?
They can get a permit to build one, but nobody can live in it permanently. The best they're gonna get is a recreational cabin affidavit.
That doesn't tell you have to have a window.
But
But then this one even gets
What
there.
would
It's like
prevent them
by the building,
from living in it
so
permanently?
It would only be as a
Who's gonna know?
recreation.
that. Well, can't harm.